So yeah, we're going to talk about optimizing your conversion funnel. This session was originally supposed to be an hour, and so I had to cut a lot of stuff out. I was actually going to do actual math, but instead I have to keep it a little bit more high level than that. So I'm going to talk about tools and tricks that I've used, that I've tested, that I've figured out, those kind of things. So yeah, first, my company's motto is math, not feelings. And we actually, this is a design for a T-shirt that we used to have. We gave them all away. So the most important point of that is test your shit. It's really important. A lot of people say that they're using math when they're actually using feelings, or they look at their data in a way that is biased, and they aren't making real decisions. They try to contrive situations in which their hypothesis will be proven right, which is kind of against the entire scientific theory. I'm going to start with paid ads. These are the two primary ways that I drive traffic to whatever projects I'm working on. They're the easiest ones to get data on. Those that know me know that traditionally I don't really respect the SEO business. I understand that it needs to happen. A lot of people use it as their overall strategy. I think it's more of a tactic. It's something that you do that you can test with paid ads. I think a lot of people think that SEO can be done for free and that they can save money that way somehow. I think it's the easiest way to waste your money. So I use a WordPress icon here to represent a website, but realistically that could be anything. And so basically driving from Facebook to a website or Google to a website, I'm going to cover both of those situations. Let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook's actually recently made this a lot easier. I've had this rule for, I don't know, probably 5-6 years. I call it the 10 cubed rule. You make 10 headlines, come up with 10 images, make 10 body copies. And that basically means you only have to come up with 30 creative things. If you mix and match all those things together, you have 1,000 unique ads. Of course, you can bring those numbers up or down. So I use something called Facebook Power Editor to implement those ads. Recently, on the actual interface for Facebook, which I don't use very often, but they started doing a thing where you could put up, I think, 6 images. To kind of copy and test those images against each other. And then they'll kind of figure out that for you. So slowly they're kind of figuring out this tactic that a lot of us have had for years. I still kind of do it the old-fashioned way because by creating 1,000 unique ads, I have a lot more control over of interpreting my results. The idea is that if I put 1,000 ads up on Facebook, then I can look at the ones that are performing the best. I can cut the ones out that don't work. I also get a shit ton of free impressions. So, that really helps kind of figure out exactly what your audience is looking for. The other big thing is fairly recent is Lookalike Campaigns. Basically what you can do is you can build a list. Most commonly, this means using your own in-house email list or something like that. You can also use Facebook tracking pixels to track the people that come to your site. But the idea is that you can create lookalike campaigns. You know who your customers are. So you can find people that have like interests and things like that and target those people. Lookalike campaigns find out some pretty interesting correlations between your product and your customers and their interests. So it converts pretty well. One thing that I've noticed a lot of people don't do is with our URLs, we pass demographic data through to our websites, and we track that on our own site in our database so that when something ultimately turns into a conversion, we have the demographic data that they came through with when they sign up. That allows us to target individual people that we would not be able to do in any other way on Facebook, because Facebook kind of aggregates and anonymizes that data. But for the ones that converted, we kind of know a little bit more about them. We can do follow-up campaigns with them and target specific demographics, whatever. If we want to target women, we can target women, those kind of things. Let's talk about Google. One of the biggest things is to have specific timely, differentiating calls to action. The most common example that I have that converts extremely well is knowing when something is hard to get and when you've got that thing. So you can build ads that say, are you searching for blah, blah, blah because it's sold out? We've got that, right? It's in stock. We have this many in stock, those kind of things. Also, keyword replacement is really effective. It allows you to create ad variations where basically you replace the keywords in your ad titles with the keywords that people were searching for. Searching for cars, say, you can, and one of the keywords you're replacing in is Honda, right? It could be BMW, those kind of things. It could be the brand name of the car, whatever it is. So in split testing things, we've been able to see that in sort of generic searches, doing keyword replacement increases the conversions significantly. There's also a random thing that I forget who posted it. It was a long time ago. It's called the arrow trick. In your ads on Google, if you make your text look like an arrow, for some reason it converts a lot better than if your text is any other shape. I also do the same thing with 10 squared variations on titles versus ad bodies. So basically what we do is use the Google API to send up basically 100 ads. That could be 200 ads, 400 ads, whatever it is. But the idea is that we don't have to be specifically creative. We just put in a minimum amount of work and we can get up an exponential number of ads. So now I want to talk about OnSite optimization. And OnSite doesn't necessarily WordPress. It could be Shopify. That's one of the biggest things that we work with our customers. Or it could be something like Blogger. It could be Squarespace. It could be your own, GitHub hosted, whatever. It doesn't matter. The first thing is Optimizely. A lot of people think that doing A/B testing has to be hard and don't know about Optimizely. It's $17 a month, and they take a lot of the work out of figuring out whether or not something is relevant. One of the hardest questions when you're A/B testing stuff is when is something significant? When can I say that this affects my conversions, right? Optimizely kind of takes away all of that, and they will run the campaign for a specific period of time. When they feel like it's become relevant, it'll just tell you that, hey, we think that version A or B of this is what you should use. Something I found out because my mom was a firefighter is that the color chartreuse is the most visible color to the eye, right? It activates the most rods and cones in your eyes. So if you're making ads and you want them to be differentiated on Facebook, or if you're doing banner ads on Google, stuff like that, if you can drop chartreuse in, it really draws the eye in. And that's because it activates so many rods and cones in your eyes that it actually there's a physiological response there where your eye has to change shape to kind of deal with that overload of color. And then also, we like to do parameter-based variations on our sites. So I'm a tech guy. I build websites. Not everybody does that. But if you can get your tech team to make it so that you can throw a parameter on the URL and change something about the website, like an image or like a headline or something like that, then you can basically give that power to your marketing people, right? Or the tech team can give that power to the marketing people. The best example of this that I know about is Rent the Runway does it. And basically what they do is they pick a bunch of random colors for backgrounds, and they pass those backgrounds through in their Facebook and Google ads. That allows the marketing people to really see where the conversions are coming from. In Google Analytics, you can distill things down based on those colors, and you look at reports to see how each color works against each other. You can do the same thing with images. You can do the same thing with copy. The reason that's really nice over Optimizely is because you can programmatically just kind of build dynamicness into the website. So that's more or less it. We only had 18 minutes. I mostly wanted to answer questions. So hit me up with questions. I have stuffed animals for people too. Shoot.
What did you mean by the arrow trick with What did you mean by the arrow trick with the Google Ads? Like, how do you make words into an arrow?
Let's say, aha. Let's say that, so your Google ad is 3 lines. Your first line is 3 words. Your second line, all words being the same length. Your second line is 5 words, and then your last line is 3 to 4 words, right? So it comes out as an arrow. It's almost like telling the person to kind of move on into your site, I think. I don't know a lot of the psychology behind that. I just know the math behind it.
And so I'm just curious about specific solutions that you may have in terms of recommendations for optimizing towards CPV on specific campaigns, or if there's anything specific that you use to lower CPV.
So that's an interesting question. As far as CPV goes, I don't do a lot of it. I kind of come at it from a different angle. I will a lot of times do CPC stuff. And then when I feel like I've dialed something in to the point where it's stable, I'll switch to CPM. That's probably the closest analog to something that I actively do. But I generally always start with CPC to kind of figure out what those demographics are. And then also by doing CPC first, if something's not going to get any clicks, you don't have to pay for that, but you still get impressions. So that's why I like to start there too. It was kind of a roundabout way to answer that.
You're 10 by 10 by 10 on Facebook. You're not doing that manually, creating 1,000 ads. Are you using a third-party app on it?
Yeah. So my company's a bunch of programmers. We use the Facebook API to do that. But Facebook's making it a lot easier. So with the Power Editor, that's gotten a lot better over the last few years. You can upload CSVs. So that helps. So if you've got some chops with Excel, that works. I haven't actually done that, but I know you can. And also with the kind of the inline, self-serve stuff, they've at least got the image part of that, right? So you can cut out all of the image variation stuff. Anybody else?
How about best practices for time of day? Oh, sorry. How about for time of day? You didn't mention that variable, but how variant do you see your results based on that when you're serving the ads, or weekday versus weekend?
So this is an interesting thing. You actually couldn't day part ads on Facebook until recently, which is really annoying. The tool that we use to upload the ads, we also use to turn them on and off. But now that's built in, at least to Power Editor. So anyway, as far as what we've seen for results, yes, time of day matters a lot, right? If you're selling stuff during the work week, during the work day, right? Generally, I see that doesn't convert well, except for maybe around lunch. And weekends, it depends on whether or not your product is weekendy. I've had customers where our weekends were nothing, and I've had customers where our weekends went gangbusters, right? In terms of conversion rate. I think that's something that you need to test on each individual product. And so using feelings, because I've never done a study of this, but most of the work we've done either favors weekends or favors weekdays. I don't think I've really seen anything that was standard all the way across. Day parting is a really important part of testing. It's really easy to do on Facebook now, which is really, really helpful. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Anybody else? Anybody want some stuffed animals? You want a stuffed animal? Which one do you want? We have a ram and a bear and a bear. I have to. No problem. Oh, there you go. Question.
Thanks. So I'm going to try to. First, I have 2 questions. The first one is about the color you were speaking about. Chartreuse is French, so my question is very easy. It's a red. What kind of color you were speaking about? Chartreuse is a liquor.
Yeah. So it's green, right? Yeah, it's like greenish yellow. So. I guess I told you that my mom told me this, but I didn't tell you why she told me. So my mom was a firefighter, and if you notice, fire trucks are switching from red to chartreuse, and the reason they're doing that is so that people don't hit them. Anybody else? All right. Well, I'm gonna hang out. I'll be here for a little while. If you guys have individual questions, let me know. And have fun. Yeah.